Hello, all you beautiful souls. This is for the projectors out there, like myself, or anyone who's interested in learning more about projectors. I just thought it was important to come on and explain a few things that have been happening to me over the past few days as I learn more about what it means to be a projector and what the projector energy is all about in relationship to human design. And I was listening to another YouTube video yesterday about 4 tips to being a projector, and one of them really changed something in me, and I'm very thrilled and grateful that it connected with me in the way that it did, because it feels like a whole sort of weight has been lifted. And that is around this idea of bitterness. And as you know, when you are a projector, when you're unaligned, you are feeling bitter, or there's bitterness. And when you are in alignment, you're feeling success. And I didn't fully grasp that. I mean, it definitely resonated the first time I heard it, and I've been sort of exploring it. But I think in terms of like manifesting things, I was waiting for the feeling of success to happen in order to let go of the bitterness, if that makes sense. So I was sort of doing it backwards, right? Because when you're manifesting, you know that you need to go into the energy of what it is that you are looking for in order for it to be attracted to you. And so in terms of approaching my own energy, I needed to find out what success was and resonate and be in that energy in order to attract more of it to me. And I was using the bitterness more as a marker to know when I wasn't aligned. But the tip that I learned yesterday was to not even allow bitterness into your energy, or not to even allow yourself to become bitter. Because when we have that energy of bitterness, we close ourselves off to invitations. And we know as projectors how important invitations are to us in terms of taking that next step forward and being invitable and being visible. But when we're bitter, we sort of create this, I kind of see it like a shell or a membrane around us that keeps us closed off. And people see that bitterness and they're like, oh, no, I don't like that about that person. I don't think I'm going to invite them into this opportunity or invite them into this energy, right? So it's important that we don't even go into bitterness as projectors, because then we allow ourselves to be open and resonate with just all of the energies out there, right? And those invitations become so much more apparent and so much more clear. What I hadn't really realized from listening to the tips yesterday is that I, over my lifetime, have sort of accumulated this bitterness that's constantly with me. And again, like I visualized it sort of like this shell or like a membrane that was keeping me enclosed. And so my bitterness was all contained within me, but it was keeping me from expanding, and it was also preventing sort of the success and the opportunities to come into my field as well. So with this full moon that's happening tonight, this super full moon, one of the energies is of letting go of this sort of long term and this ancestral energy that has been weighing on us. And despite all the work that we've done in order to release it with our inner child, and despite the work that we've done with our traumas and our limiting beliefs and all of the work we put into releasing this energy, it still seems to be there. And that's because of the ancestral depth that it has. And for me, that energy is this energy of bitterness. And so I did some meditation last night and have been working through it today and doing like saltwater therapy and just really feeling into this energy of bitterness and letting it go and it accepting that it doesn't belong to me anymore and just feeling the weight of it lift from my field and how my interactions are changing and how the sensations within me are changing and rising, and to accept that bitterness is not something that I need to feel anymore. It's very interesting being able to reflect on it and also to be able to see it now so clearly in the past when it was a factor and how it was also collecting in my aura and how I bonded with people over bitterness and complaining, and then how I can see it so easily in other people's fields now as well. So that realization, that understanding that I had been living in bitterness for too long, or I guess this is sort of like, I can't say that what I was doing before was bad, but now that I have the awareness of it, I'm quite able to turn it off and to open up sort of a new chapter in my life. So this is the line where I'm going to look back in my life and be like, that was before bitterness, or that was before the bitterness went away, you know, and now I'm moving into this new place without the bitterness. And the beautiful space that I am looking forward to. So you can probably see the cat coming down the hallway. There she is. Now she sees us. The beautiful space that I am stepping into more and more of the time, as I like to say, is into this sensation, this energy of success. And there is a certain like understanding that I have of it, but I know that there's a bit of wobble when I think about it that way. And so when I go general and just sort of accept that success is everything that exists without bitterness, then there is this freedom and this prosperity and this infinite potential again that opens up when I sit with that sensation. And it is really exciting to be able to like let that flow through me and present itself in whatever sort of possibilities and opportunities might be coming next. This shift has also sort of come into alignment and been accompanied by my own awareness, again, as a projector, but I think this applies to everybody in human design, in terms of being intentional about clearing my open centers. So where I am undefined in my human design, I am intentionally putting energy into clearing that. And again, some of the energies that have collected in my undefined centers over the years are quite extensive and need a lot of work to like open that up, but the reward from doing that and putting the time and the intention into clearing those centers is exhilarating, really, on the most basic level, because it when we clear those undefined centers, those undefined centers now really support where we are defined. And so those defined centers, like for me, all in here, become that much more clear and that much more prominent and that much more accessible to us in terms of how we are interacting with the world around us. And then as we also are clearing those undefined centers, we're opening ourselves up to new interactions with different people and different experiences, because there is a whole wealth of energy that we may not have been open to be able to receive and flow through us because of the blocks or the sort of stuffiness or the stuckness of energy in those centers where we are ideally undefined naturally. It is really, really, I'm really starting to recognize this for myself, but it's really, really important to act on the energy when you have it. And I always think, you know, if I write it down or make a note, I can come back to it, but it never has that same sort of significance, the same sort of gusto that the energy has when you catch it in the moment. Like, for instance, stopping and taking the time to make this video while these thoughts are fresh in my mind is of like the utmost importance to me in the moment, because I can convey that energy when I have it, when the thoughts are fresh and when everything's moving. And so all the other activities in my life need to just be put on pause, for instance, like unloading the groceries, until I can take a moment to record this and share what it is in the moment as it's active. So recognizing when the energy is there and acting on it is such a great tool for projectors. And sometimes it means, like, you know, staying up late and doing a bunch of work, but that work that you will accomplish in that period of time, in any other instance would take you, you know, days or weeks or months to accomplish if you weren't acting on it when the energy is most potent, to describe it that way. And then on the flip side of that, it's also really important to rest in between. And I know this is often said about projectors, of how important it is to rest and relax and nourish yourself in the times between when that energy is low. But speaking as a projector, I do need that rest a lot. And a lot of the work and the energy work that I do is actually sort of in a restful state. And so I'll spend extra time in the morning in bed, kind of in that lucid dream state where I'm actually, you know, feeling into different parts of myself and going into different energetic states in my mind, and going into different energy levels in my aura in order to clear stuff and work stuff through. And sometimes I find that is the most productive part of my day, is just what I accomplish in those, you know, extra 15 minutes or that extra hour of time in the morning, when I'm not getting up and immediately jumping into the activities of the day, but instead taking that time to be in a sacred space with myself and in union with myself on a level and like a beta or theta alpha wavelength. I can't remember which one it is, but like really celebrating that time and using it to the fullest. I also need every day, and I don't always do it, but I realize the importance of it again, to have that time for meditation. And for me, that's a guided meditation. And those, again, get me into that restful state, or that alpha or theta wavelength of mind wavelengths, in order to move through the energy and find out where the blocks are, and to release the things that need to be released, and to have those aha moments that help me understand more about myself and take that time to be really internal and reflective, in order to be able to embody it and then be able to share it. So yeah, it's fun being a projector in light of those things, but it is different because it's not the status quo, and it takes practice to be able to honor that about ourselves, and to step out of the expectation of what a normal day can look like and feel like, whereas our normal energy levels can fluctuate quite extremely, but we have to honor that and celebrate it as it's happening, because that is what makes us who we are. So those are my projector thoughts for today, and I look forward to sharing more as they come to light within me. It is wonderful exploring this part of myself, and I'm so excited to share it. So hopefully you can take away something from that information that serves you as well. Thank you.